I'm Artix,
I'm Fadul.
and this is Darksiders.
Oh boy. So, this really weird thing is happening to me and I don't understand it. I have this compulsion to start this LP with a story about how I was really ill one morning and I woke up and was sick, and then I came back and there was a message saying let's do an LP, because that seemed funny. But now I think about it, that happened a year ago. Didn't we only decide to do this a month ago?
I mean, I did state very publicly in the SA Discord that I have been threatening to do this multiple times, so eventually I had to make good on it.
That's so weird. It's like there's this big gap in my memory where there should be an entire LP. It's probably nothing.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything that would be.
Speaking of thinking of things, I have managed to go into this LP almost entirely blind, so I can, actually react to weird, stupid, dumb things as they happen, rather than just pretending that I don't know what's going on.
Since the dawn of time, the armies of heaven...
We'll let the intro play out here real quick, but we'll kind of give the short version of what you're in for once gameplay starts.
An entity bound by ancient laws to preserve order and balance. It held that any great power, unchecked, threatened the very fabric of the universe. In time, heaven and hell came to honor the council and its laws, for none were beyond the swift and terrible justice of the council's enforcers. A fearsome brotherhood known as the Four Horsemen. Amid the turmoil, the first humans emerged. The council foretold that these weak but cunning creatures would someday be integral to the balance. Thus, a third kingdom was named, the Kingdom of Man. By order of the council, a truce was forged between heaven and hell. The great pact was bound by 7 seals, to be broken at the appointed time, when man's kingdom stood ready for the end war. A battle that would bring balance and determine the ultimate fate of the 3 kingdoms.
My reaction to this so far is that I'm very impressed that they've managed to do the text highlighting thing in standard subtitles. That's all I got.
I mean, it's a pretty straightforward thing. It's not a whole lot to get right now.
I don't know, I'm just impressed by their text. I'm a simple man of simple tastes. These people seem very surprised by something that was literally on the news.
I mean, it's a little bit different when it's on the news versus when it is literally happening to you right then and there.
I don't know, I feel like if I woke up and the news was like, holy shit, we're being hit by meteors, I would be like, wow, I should probably duck or something. I don't know.
One thing I always found weird about these intro cutscenes is that they make the game look way more, grimdark than it actually is.
Wait, you're telling me this game isn't very grimdark?
This is, this game, once it actually gets started, is, one of the most colorful apocalypse games I think I've ever seen.
Huh. Yeah, I can see how that might be a surprise at this point.
So welcome to Darksiders.
Yeah, I see what you meant about the colours. This looks good.
Yeah, this game looks really good, actually. Darksiders and, in fact, Vigil Games, you know, fucking rip them. Dead to the whole THQ meltdown. But yeah, no, they were founded by, I believe his name is Joe Maggiera. He's a comic artist. And...
Ah, comics. That explains some things.
yeah, like, if you've ever seen Battle Chasers, this game shares a lot of artistic similarities with it.
I feel like I am compelled to give a shout out to this text that says, press circle when you see circle. Like, that there are ways to draw attention to the nature of an action prompt and connect it with a button, and that is a very bad one.
So yeah, you know, just your casual everyday apocalypse going on. Big fiery demons walking down the street.
Yeah, I feel like this game has done an adequate job of stating what it's going to be like.
So for anyone who, if it wasn't clear, this is actually the remastered edition, or if you really want to be pedantic, the War Mastered edition. Thanks, THQ.
The only thing I knew in advance about any of the Darksiders games was that all the remasters had really, really stupid, overwrought names.
Ah, yes. I look forward to the next thread, which is the definitive edition of Darksiders 2.
Like, I'm not even mad, actually. That's amazing.
But yeah, so on the most basic level, Darksiders is...
It looks like the thing that we've come to call a character action game.
What is happening?
That's not incorrect. The first major half of the gameplay formula is very God of War, Devil May Cry inspired.
You walk next to a guy and you press buttons until their health bar disappears.
It's certainly, I mean, I think it's very fun to play, but I think the combat is probably the least interesting part of it, if we're being honest, so...
Ah, the spectacle fighter. Like, remind me when this game originally came out.
This game was a 2010 release, originally.
That's, like, later than I thought. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, my instinctive reaction when I see an action game like this is to try and place it on a continuum that contains, you know, the usual suspects, like your Gods of War, your Devils May Cry, and your Bayonettas. So I think this is like, I think 2010 is post Bayonetta. I forget.
Yes? I forget the exact timeline, but that sounds about right for Bayonetta 1.
At the very least, it would be like vaguely contemporary.
But as far as combat goes, like I said, it's very, very straightforward character action-y. The only really notable thing is, like I said, as you saw those circle prompts above the enemies' heads, after you do enough damage, you can hit the circle button to do a finisher. This is notable because A, you are completely invincible when you're doing finishers, and B, you can cancel out of literally anything to do one.
I mean, I can't lie, that's quite platinum. Stop the stopwatches, folks. I've invoked the name of platinum in an LP. I believe 10 minutes is a record.
I was gonna say, we made it 10 whole minutes in.
I mean, okay, to be fair, I literally was talking about Bayonetta before, so maybe this isn't actually that remarkable. But I believe my point stands, though. Like, being able to cancel out of literally anything is kind of a hallmark. That poster...
Yeah. You psyched for Eaton 2?
I don't know. I mean, fake media inside games has kind of been elevated to an art form lately, and I don't think it's fair to have to think critically about the examples of it from 10 years ago.
As the game helpfully points out, we also have a dash, which you can mostly cancel anything into. So, despite how big and kind of clunky he is, War is actually really mobile.
I mean, like, I would kind of hope so. I mean, there's more to War than just sitting in a place and firing stuff. War is a matter of, like, tactics and strategy and wisdom and psychology.
So what you're saying is that he's it is best personified by a very large angry man with a sword.
Who can move really fast when he has to. I mean, you know, let's not overthink this. Okay. I don't know, this seems like the kind of situation that would have caused most Earth authorities to have given up and cut their losses by now. Or at the very least, bring something stronger than a helicopter.
You know, when you're dealing with literal angels and demons, it seems fairly... I'm gonna call it kind of unfair to expect them to have appropriately prepared for that.
Yeah, but like, you know, I kind of feel like if this happened and like literally everyone died and weird demonic / angelic war broke out, that they would be like, well, this is clearly completely fucked. And either run away entirely or start sending in ordnance. I don't know. War seems to have it pretty firmly in hand, though.
Anyway, let's take this car with us. They make for a nice little battering ram.
Yes, let's. I'm a big fan of how they've made most of the cars be taxis in an attempt to not have to render so many individual kinds of car. They thought I wouldn't notice, but I noticed.
So you might be thinking, wow, the angels are getting their ass kicked. You'd be right.
I mean, there's a war going on. And we are war. This seems like, frankly, our thing.
What is this? Where are my brothers? This cannot be. The final seal.
My lord!
How did this happen?
Honestly, I think at this point I'm wise enough not to believe anything about what's happening.
The seventh seal was not broken.
Sidon! What in heaven's name have you done?
I answer the call.
So, like, I gotta ask. War's voice.
Yes, it's Liam O'Brien.
Right. Yes. Okay, as you were.
So this is the first boss. You may notice that it has a very distinct style. Might remind you of something.
I mean, it's large and it basically looks like a building and has a head that isn't armored.
That's not quite what I meant. Incidentally, the reason we brought that car is that it takes 2 car hits to stun him, and if it bounces nicely after you hit him, you can just skip the entire first phase of this fight.
Physics. I don't know, this doesn't seem like it should be that hard, but it's nice of him to give you cars. That's a very boss thing to do. This doesn't seem like it's very much of an imposition. Maybe I'm asking too much of literally the first boss in an action video game tutorial level. I mean, why is he even here?
Because they needed a big capstone moment, obviously.
Well, I don't know what I expected you to say.
Also, if this whole thing is reminding you very heavily of a Zelda boss, don't worry. We'll get to that real soon.
Right, that's like the only other thing that I know about this game is that a surprising number of people keep saying that it's Zelda-like.
Oh, the car! Yeah! Anyway, that's enough for this guy.
Now it's time for that God of War inspiration.
So remember how they said that the seals haven't been broken yet?
Yeah, that seemed important.
Has been broken.
Yeah.
And so have you, horseman.
So, who fucked up?
Well, that's what we're here to find out.
When the 7th seal is broken, 4 horsemen shall ride forth to punish the wicked. Be they sons of men, lords of heaven, or the dregs of hell. All upon the earth will be judged, and the parent forged anew. You forget your post, horseman. You forget the law. No call was given, yet the destroyer marched, and there you were found, under his black banner, if the claims are true. To hell with your claims! The seals were broken! I was summoned! Then where are the other horsemen? Were they not summoned as well? The 7 seals are hidden, as they have been since the pact was forged eons ago. All of them intact. There was no call. You aided the Dark Ones, broke a sacred covenant that has doomed mankind, and threatened the balance. Do you deny it? When I
hell were already at war. Abaddon was there. He knew something.
Abaddon fell, fighting off the chaos you unleashed.
I fought powerless against the demons, and still you accuse me?
Your defeat proves nothing. Likely the Destroyer cast you aside when he was finished with you. You have defiled the law, Horseman. You will be punished.
I serve only the Council. Only the balance. As the Horsemen always have. Send me back. I will punish the ones responsible.
How? What hope do you have against the Destroyer's armies? You are powerless.
Then I will fail, and the demons will have carried out your sentence.
Very well. You will return to the Earth. But you will be watched. Come forth.
Remember that, or I will really get under your skin.
Rise, war, and arm yourself.
So the Watcher is the other big name voice that they got. If it wasn't obvious, that's Mark Hamill.
I didn't immediately recognize him, so I guess that must be why they call it acting. Well, yeah, it looks like war really fucked up. I guess war is in fact good for nothing. Wish somebody had warned us. So since the Watcher sits on our wrist, does that mean that the Watcher is like actually a watch?
This LP is cancelled.
I'm sorry.
The souls of the dead will be your currency.
I mean, what do you want from me?
Enemies are more easily bought than killed.
I mean, if the souls of the dead are currency, then surely most enemies can be both bought and killed. I mean, really, we can just multi-purpose this whole thing.
Are you suggesting that this is somehow both gold and experience?
I mean, yes. That's literally... Oh boy.
The Council
See, I know what you're thinking,
demons now, does it?
and the answer is no. That's not until Darksiders 3.
From the Destroyer's favor.
Okay,
Vulgrim is one such outcast. He has long sought an audience with us.
How long have I been here?